Hello? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Star Ocean. A continuation from last time. What I want to talk about is, well, first of all, let's do a recap of what's going on in the game. So what we need to do is we need to go to Cross City, I think. It's like I don't know, it might be the capital. I'm not really sure. But we found like a meteor stone and we have to go investigate it. No, we need to investigate the actual meteor, I'm pretty sure. And how do we get there? Well, we just go north. It's pretty simple. I figured out a good way on how to manage the volume. So last time I said that I have a hard time talking when there's like a loud noise going on in the background. I was able to fix that. And all I had to do was I just had to turn down the volume for my headphones. And now I can talk while still hearing the game and it doesn't feel like I'm freaking yelling. Another thing is the video quality of the game. For some reason, whenever I record the game, it always, I don't know if it's just me, but it always looks fuzzy. Like it doesn't look as if it's sharp enough. And then another thing that I realized, by editing, you can make the commentary sound good. So I could just talk about whatever. And even if it doesn't make much sense right now while I'm speaking, I can manipulate it in a way during editing to make it make sense. So I don't need to stress over making everything coherent while I'm actually talking, which allows me to play the game in a more casual manner. And I think that just allows me to express myself even better. But another thing that I noticed is, I forgot. Well, whatever. I completely forgot what I was going to say. Okay, so as for the actual editing process itself, it wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. The problem is that it takes a long time. And there might be some minor details that could have been better if I was a better editor. But I think for the most part, it's fine. It's sort of like when you're new at something, you just progress a lot, right? You're just improving. You have this almost linear slope. And then once you get at a higher skill level, then that's when it starts to even out. So right now, I think I'm on the giant slope of editing. I learned the basic fundamental of cutting where I'm not talking and cutting in such a way that it allows the viewer to be able to listen to something that appears to be a conversation, even if it is very fragmented in the actual raw recording. So where's the town that we were actually kidnapped in? Oh, it is here. Oh, okay. So can we go over there now? What about the dragon? It said beware of dragon. I'm kind of curious now. I'll go check it out. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm able to edit it, and I guess for my purposes, the editing is pretty simplistic. I don't need to do anything too major about it, but there are probably things that I'm unaware of that could make the video better. But I think that over time, I just learn about it, and it'll probably come naturally. But I don't think I need to do any fancy editing. But I think it'd be really cool if I would be able to edit a YouTube poop. I don't know how people do that. That seems crazy. You know, there's really high edited videos, such as Glorious Octagon, stuff like that. How do people do that? I want to know how to do that. It seems like a huge learning curve. I don't even know what program they use. I think it's probably After Effects, right? Because Premiere Pro, I think, is what I'm doing, right? I mean, I don't use Premiere Pro, but just for clipping videos and stuff like that, I think Premiere Pro is good for that. But After Effects, I think it's more visuals. I'm not too sure. I don't know what the difference is. There seems to be a really good video on the different Adobe programs and what they do. So maybe I'll check that out. But bro, it's so expensive. If you have a student email, you can get the Adobe Creative Cloud for a discounted price for a total of $20 a month. Like, bro, I'm not spending $20 a month. It's so expensive. But is it worth it? How come Premiere Pro is better than DaVinci Resolve, you know? What about it just makes it a better product? Is it just gonna say we need to go to Cross? Yeah. Alright, whatever. Alright, let's just go to Cross. I don't even know if I'm saying the word correctly. I don't get how people pronounce stuff. I wish there was some sort of thing. Okay, how do we get out of here? I forgot what I was saying. See, now that's a problem with the way I'm going to commentate now. Because now that I know that I can abuse editing in order to make commentary easier, now I'm just going to start having a bunch of long pauses in between what I'm saying. But then it's going to mess with my actual mind. And that's something that I can't fix editing with. All right, let's get out of here. So this is Salva. This is probably... Is this the house where we were kidnapped in? Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't make any sense. I stand corrected. This is the front entrance, which means Alan had locked it from the outside. I don't get it. Holy frig, that is a huge upgrade. Twin Fury? Does 120 attack over 30? Yeah, of course I want that. Oh, we don't have anybody who can equip it though. Okay, never mind. Oh, okay. No, we just do this. Wait, what? Wait, what's PA mode? What? What am I pressing? Oh, private action. So is this how you get the one-on-one? I think this is how you get the one-on-ones. Okay. So I think there's one in... What's that place called? The very starting area. So the biggest thing with editing though is that it takes a freaking long time. I edited my other video, the first one. It was maybe an hour, a little less than an hour and a half of footage. It took about 3 hours to edit. Now, the upside with editing is that it's actually pretty simple to do when you're in a voice chat or you're just watching, well, maybe not when you're watching something in the background. I haven't tried that. But when you're in a voice chat and there's just people talking, you can just lower that a little bit and then focus on the video editing, but still have them high enough so that you can hear what's going on, right? And while editing, I realized that I say like or or a bunch of other filler words way too much. So I'm trying to stop that. And I guess I could edit it out, but the way that I speak is that I'll say like a like which means that it's really hard to edit out the likes, you know? And once you notice that, it starts to get really grating. So I'm trying my best not to say that. Not to say like, not to say oh, and stuff in that nature. I was gonna say stuff like that. I'm pretty sure when you use it as a comparison, it's fine. But when you use the word like as a filler word, then that's when it starts to become a problem. I remember my band director in 7th and 8th grade, he hated the word like. And because of that, I sort of grew accustomed to not using it until I started using it again because of how convenient it was. So, Cowness. The only kind of nature we had on the Cowness. Oh, so the Cowness was a spaceship? Okay, I wonder what happened to Earth in this universe. Artificial trees. So is the nature on Earth no more? Okay, and then if you have a keen eye, you might notice that this video started a little bit later from where the last video ended. And that's because I couldn't save from where I ended the last video, so I had to keep playing a little bit. And it was basically just them saying, hey, you gotta go to Cross, talk to the king, deal with the meteor, and save the world. You know how it is. And they made a big deal with goodbyes and everything, but in standard JRPG fashion, you can just go back whenever and see everybody be like, yo, what's up? I said like again. Jewelry. Dude, I don't like jewelry. I don't know why. It always rubs me the wrong way. I think it started when I was in middle school. I sort of realized it and I just grew a distaste for it. And just ever since then, whenever I just hear about jewelry or see jewelry, it's like, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't know why. It's so weird. So I really appreciate that in this game, there is a big exclamation mark telling me where to go. And that, I know that sounds sarcastic, but in games like this, where, especially old school JRPGs, where you don't really have a journal telling you what's going on, because in Morrowind, you don't really have quest markers or anything of that nature, but you do have a journal telling you where to go, and that makes sense in universe, right? Of course, it only makes sense that a character would have a journal. There's no reason for them not to. So it's really handy for you to just be able to pick up a journal and then just look at it and then realize, oh yeah, this is what I was doing. But in JRPGs, old school JRPGs, if you miss the line of dialogue and you don't know where to go, you're just done for. It's just look up a walkthrough at that point. And something that I really appreciate, that I didn't expect that I would appreciate while commentating this game, is the fact that if I want to keep talking about something, I can just go to a random encounter. I guess it's not technically a random encounter, right? Because I can see them. So yeah, if I want to keep talking about something, I can just run into an enemy and boom, I'm still talking about it. And that's something that I usually wouldn't do if I were just playing the game on myself, right? Because if I was playing the game by myself, I wouldn't be commentating, and there would be no reason for me to just, you know, go out of my way and just start attacking this guy. But for me, I want to keep talking about something, so I'm going to find another guy, and I'm just going to do the random encounter. So that's a really neat thing that might actually help this series in the long run. It also helps that I actually kind of like the combat so far. It's pretty fun. There's nothing too in-depth about it yet, but first of all, it's the very beginning of the game. And second of all, it's not like anything I've ever seen before, so just that novelty seems pretty fun. Okay, so we got to go to the inn, and we are approaching the area in the game that I stopped playing during the demo. I don't know if I should listen to the dialogue or not. People always, I don't want to say get mad, but when I was playing Persona 4 Golden in Discord voice chat, we were saying, how could I skip the voice acting? But I mean, I can read faster than they say it, you know? Reminds me of Leon Kennedy, just because his last name is Kenny. Dude, I want to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth so bad, but it's only on PS5. I'm so mad. I rant about this every time I can get, but I love the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but they put the Yuffie DLC only for PS5, and there's no reason. There is no reason that it should be exclusive to PS5. It doesn't use the hardware. They just want to sell their copies of the game. And you know what? I guess on a marketing level, not marketing, from a business perspective, I should say, that makes a lot of sense, right? But on a personal level, it feels like an insult to me personally. There should be a button that lets you sell everything that is not equipped to anybody. So something that I heard about this game is that it's really easy to become OP really early on. And I haven't searched up how to do that, but I am really curious. Advice on skills. Maybe I should listen to this. Should think carefully before distributing. Okay, yeah, that's why I haven't done anything yet, because I don't know how costly respecing is. I don't know how big of a deal it is. So I'm too hesitant to putting my points into skills until I really need to. And what's the point of these restaurants? Oh, okay. So they're craftables? Yeah, used in cooking. Okay. So it looks like there's a lot of mechanics in terms of crafting, and that's probably how you get really OP. But yeah, I was even tempted to buy the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but for PC, instead of Star Ocean. Obviously, you can see what I chose. And so far, I am really enjoying Star Ocean. And I'll probably just, I don't know, maybe I'll just search up freaking the Yuffie DLC on YouTube and just watch that before playing Rebirth whenever it inevitably comes out on PC. I tried playing the original FF7, and I almost made it to the end of Disc 1. And I really liked it. I like the characters, I like the world, I like the music. I like pretty much everything about it except the gameplay. I think, I don't know what would need to change about the gameplay. I think things would just need to be a little bit quicker. Because in Final Fantasy VII, you have a whole bunch of long animations. It takes a while to get to the point, I think. I need something to write down what I was just talking about so that I don't forget after reading the dialogue.
If it were up to me, I would sincerely suggest that you call off this investigation.
I mean, it kind of is up to you, right? How much? I guess it depends on their type of government, right? How much can the king enforce rules upon them? It looks like he doesn't have absolute law.
His Majesty has granted you a travel permit, along with a small parting gift.
Wow, okay, so we are just really close with the king, I guess. Maybe it's not a big kingdom.
Please, take it. It's a perfectly fitting payment for helping us root out the cause of this cataclysm.
Hey, I'm going to go check out the meteor also. You wanna?
Thank you so much,
I might need some better equipment. You know what I'm saying? So for some reason, I can't come up with a permanent wallpaper, you know? And I think that, okay, how do I say this? Well, we're about to meet a new character here, so I'll figure out how to say this and then talk about it afterwards.
Don't you lecture me about my damn manners, kid!
How pathetic. The only time you can act tough is when you're against someone weaker than yourself.
I mean, I'm kind of on the guy's side. If I'm clearly having a bad day and somebody comes up to me and they just tell me, hey, you should calm down, you shouldn't be mad, you should just, well, no. I guess it's more fair in this case because he's just, I don't know, he's just being rude to the lady. This is a setup to a side quest for sure. I want to play Trails in the Sky. But that game's combat,
Hopefully that taught him
I don't know,
something.
man.
Are you the couple who had an audience with the king earlier?
How did you know that?
How did you know that?
Freaking Reina taking all my
I
lines.
just happened to.
You snuck into the throne room. I don't trust this lady. Okay, so I want to get really into the crafting because I love being OP in video games. And I want to do that here. So it looks like this is the way. This is how we do it. But first we got to be organized. First, let's see private action mode. Can we have any private actions with the new lady? Looks like we can over here. Can I see my whole map? Doesn't look like it. Oh, yeah, we can. Okay, so we don't have any private actions with Claude, but we can do this.
I was just starting to get kind of bored of wandering around. Would you like
So
to go and have
hers
some
is
tea or
voice
something?
acted while the others aren't. Or at least the one
That
with
sounds
Claude that I
nice.
did
Let's
beforehand
go.
wasn't. Dude, that guy is furious. Does that guy have a refrigerator for a body?
Excuse
Wait, is that the prince?
I didn't realize that you had to pay money at this place.
Yeah, because they're
You think I'm
royalty.
actually gonna believe that, kid?
Our two options is how about if we pay for his bill? Or I guess we won't have much peace here. Second option's
It
more
doesn't look
Chad.
like we'll get it.
Did we just lock ourselves out of not being able to form a relationship
Well,
with the
that was
prince?
pretty awkward.
That was strange. I wonder what would have happened if we actually did it. So we have crafting mission 1. Use a kit in crafting to make a silver earring. I'll provide the materials. How do I... Oh my gosh. Oh, she's a guest character. Okay. Now, can we have a guest character become a permanent character later on? Write your name. You can change her name? Oh, frick. What's her, Okay. Using an IC or specialty without the recommended talents can lead to the discovery of secret talents. Bro, what? So what does IC stand for? I'm just gonna call it specialty. It says IC/specialty. Never mind, they're different things. Shifts elemental resistances. Yeah, we just become weak. Oh, so if we use 3, does that make it 1? Oh no, it becomes 3 different. Okay. Silver Beret Plus. Beret? How do you say that? Barrett? Is that the guy from FF7? So we failed. Oh, that's how you get the ugly accessory. What did we make? We made fruit milk. A milk flavored with different kinds of fruit juice. Is that an actual thing? Is fruit milk real? That sounds really good. I'm writing that down. Search up fruit milk. Maybe this is how I learn about different foods. I never know what food to make. Maybe I should just go to Star Ocean, see what kind of food Reina is cooking up, and just make that in real life. Egg sandwich. Ooh. Yeah, this I can make. Oh, that looks freaking good. Okay, it looks like... Okay, so this is sick. It's an automatic thing. I know I said last episode that I want to make my own decisions. Let's just say I agree with these decisions. Well, before I optimize even further, I want to try fishing. We can do fishing here. What? Where am I fishing? In the fountain? There's a fish in the fountain. We got Quiver Imago, a whopping 87.3 centimeters. What I was going to talk about earlier before I got distracted by all the crafting stuff, because it is very fun, is about Ayurveda. Ayurveda. If you want to believe that it's all like a sham or whatever, you can go ahead. Like, you're completely free to think that. I'm still not completely sure on how accurate it is. I think I believe in some of the stuff about it, in the sense that people are different in the way of what works best for them, and we already got the cross carb, so we're barely going to be able to talk about this. It sort of aligns with my philosophy that there's things that we want to do that everybody wants to do in life, right? That we want to be more motivated to do work and things of that nature. But the actual process that we go about it, I bet is different for each and every person. I don't think there's any process that's going to work exactly the same for two different people. I mean, maybe there is, right? Because there's so many people. But yeah, that's what I agree about Ayurveda the most, is that there's different methods for different types of people. My, I guess, stereotypical type is the Vata, or the does everything not everything at once, but we just bounce off a bunch of things. And I think I missed this. No, I did not. So yeah, a Vata in Ayurveda is someone who likes to jump around a lot. And my whole life, I've liked jumping around different video games, jumping around different TV shows. Never really seen one complete, but rather doing a whole bunch of them until I finish one, and then I end up finishing another one and another one, sort of back to back, because I've been doing them all at the same time, kind of. The reason why I brought this up is because in a wallpaper engine, I can never come up with a wallpaper that I want to keep just forever. The one that I've had the most luck in that regard with is a Steins Gate one. I had that for maybe a year, but then I started looking at other wallpapers on Wallpaper Engine, and I just want to keep switching it out, you know? It's a miracle that I barely changed my profile picture at all from just a spider. I changed it quite a bit on Steam, so that's how I cope with it. I think realizing that that I don't need to be committed to one thing, and I can be semi-committed to multiple things and do them not necessarily all at once, but bounce off of them whenever I get bored of one. I don't know, it just helped me understand myself a little bit better. So I highly recommend checking it out if it seems interesting to you. All the spiritual stuff about Ayurveda and the diet and stuff like that, I'm not totally convinced. I guess I would need to put it into practice in order for me to be convinced of it. But once again, the actual philosophy of different things working for different people is something that I agree with a lot. And I think I sort of found how I should maintain my life and I guess structure my life of just by doing a whole bunch of things at once. Now I wrote here focusing on MSQ, and I don't even know what that means. I think I need to be a little bit more specific when I write down things that pop up into my head of what to talk about. So when it says best equipment, it looks like it doesn't take into account the accessories. Accessories we probably need to do ourselves. And our best equipment probably isn't that complicated of an algorithm, I guess. Is it an algorithm? A process? We could call it a process. I remember what I meant by focusing on MSQ. What I meant is that usually in video games, I usually focus on main story quests. But again, since commentating just changes how I play this game. If I was playing this game by myself, I bet I'd be, well, actually, I'm not too sure if I'd be playing completely differently. But I guess I feel more inclined to go in it for the long haul rather than just rushing through it. Most of the time, if I was playing Morrowind or something, I'd probably just stick to the main story, which is kind of ironic because a lot of people just do the side quests instead. But in this case, I don't know why. I really want to go to the cave. It just sounds like fun. I wish there was a better way of learning words, because you just think about it. Let's say somebody wants to start learning new words. How do you do it? Whenever you come up with a word that you don't know, you search it up. But man, that is kind of time consuming, you know? Yeah, so every time you see a new word, you need to pull up your phone, go on this freaking Merriam-Webster app. I don't know if I use Merriam-Webster or not, but the app that I have, it might be dictionary.com. It's just so bad. It's so laggy. It doesn't run well at all. I don't like it. But then again, how else? What's a better option of learning words, right? There's not really much. And this is why I'm going to use this as cope. This is why I haven't learned Spanish yet. Because I know the basic rules of Spanish. I know grammatical rules and stuff like that. But I don't know words. I need to learn vocabulary. And so what I need to do is just start immersing myself into Spanish more. But then I don't know how to, because I need to be interested in it, right? I need to be interested in whatever I'm immersing myself in. But I can't think of anything. I tried watching some Twitch streams in Spanish, but those guys, they speak so fast. And a lot of Spanish content creation online is Spain Spanish. But I'm more interested in Mexican Spanish. But yeah, I don't know if anyone knows any ways Please tell me. Because I don't... What am I gonna do? What do I do in my free time? I guess I could be playing this game in Spanish, right? Is there even a Spanish version? Maybe I should play games in Spanish. Okay, I don't understand why they take so long to attack. My allies, I mean. Look, they're not doing anything. What is this, bro? Do we just have... just attack up? Just something simple. That'd be nice. Super specialties are guaranteed to give a strategic advantage when used well, so learn as many as possible. I really like that they give you advice. That's something that OG RPGs don't have, where you just sort of have to figure it out on your own. Even Western RPGs, you just figure it out on your own. I like that they give you some sort of direction. Bunny Call. A super specialty where everyone shouts out Bunny's name as loud as they can. What good is that going to do me? A super specialty where everyone conspires to create items that aren't quite legit will crime pay in the end? What? Can we just make illegal items that are OP? That sounds awesome. I get canker sores so easily. I hate it so much because they hurt. They hurt on a microscopic level, on a quantum level, dude. One time I think I was eating a cheeseburger and it touched the canker sore, and the pain I felt, it was as if, you know how people describe the fourth dimension as something that you can't perceive? That's the kind of pain that I felt when I ate that cheeseburger and it touched the canker sore. Like, I wasn't in a high enough dimension to even process the pain that I felt. I know I felt pain, but I couldn't even feel it. It was weird, bro. It was freaking weird. It's a little bit of an over exaggeration, but moral of the story is that I don't like canker sores. What am I doing? Forgot what I was doing. I have really bad memory. I don't know how to improve my memory. It's another thing with definitions. I don't know how to improve it. Is it really just doing memory tests? Can't you eat? No. Carrots are for better eyesight. But if you have glasses already, will carrots make a difference? Probably not, right? So this cave reminded me of a TV show that I really like. It's called Dark. I'm on season 2 and I kind of stopped watching it. I want to keep watching it though, but I don't know, my motivation recently to watch it hasn't been that high. But not because it's bad. I think it's very good. Some scenes could be a little bit more thought out. I think some scenes just don't really make sense in a in-universe kind of way. It sort of ruins, what's that called when you need to suppress the fact that you're watching a TV show, that it's not real? Suspension of disbelief. I think that's what it is. Yo, can you guys attack or do something? You're just standing there. You learned laser beams. Yeah, there's some suspension of disbelief that you need to do for some scenes, but other than that, I think it's very good. It's very beautifully shot. I haven't really seen anything like it. The story is interesting. I think it's definitely something that I gotta watch all 3 seasons in order to make a final conclusion about, because the first season was definitely just the first part of the story. It had a conclusion, but that conclusion directly led into something else, right? So you just sort of have to see it. But lately, I've been wanting to watch Lord of the Rings. But if I'm going to watch it, it's going to be the extended edition, right? But it's so long. I guess that's why it's extended, right? I don't know if I can sit down and watch a movie straight for 4 hours. That's insane. Maybe from 6 to 10. This spring break would have been a great time to do it. But spring break is already almost over. You know what? I was kind of hoping for spring break to go by fast so I could go back to school and actually do something, because I've had some times during spring break where I'm just sitting around not really doing anything. I'm like, okay, I really want to go back to school just so I have something to do. But then I started doing this, and now it feels as if I don't have enough time to do the stuff I want to do. And with classes coming back, then I'll have even less time. So yeah, maybe this wasn't the best time to start a project as large as this, but well, we're rolling with it. This might take a whole year. I'm just letting you know right now. Uploads will be very inconsistent, but that's what makes it fun, right? You can't anticipate when I'm gonna upload next. It's like sneaky. I think I'm playing this in such a way where the combat feels as if it should be immediate, but I don't think that's how I need to play this game. I don't think I play it as a Devil May Cry or a Dark Souls or a Path of Exile. I think there's some lag, some intentional lag behind me pressing the button and behind Claude swinging his sword. So I need to play more strategically in that sense, I think. And that sort of reminds me of another topic that I wanted to talk about. Do you guys think that you can play video games incorrectly? I think you can. And I think it is up to the developers or the designers or whoever works on it to make the game in such a way that makes it very obvious to the players how to play the game, you know? What is the intended way to play a game? Because I think you can approach a game in just a wildly different way. Like, if you try to play Dwarf Fortress as Minecraft, then you'll be playing it wrong, I think. I really think you'll be playing it wrong because Dwarf Fortress is more of a simulation, colony simulation game, where Minecraft is a sandbox game about building. Well, okay, they're both sandbox games, but Minecraft is more about exploring and about building. Whereas, yeah, you can explore and you can build in Dwarf Fortress, but your approach to it is very different. It's much more focused on simulating what's going on in the world. So that's why I think you could play video games in a different or in an incorrect way. Same thing with watching movies. I know there's a very controversial video about movie plot holes in which he says that you're watching movies wrong. And I think under that circumstance where you're looking for plot holes, I don't think that's a wrong way to watch movies. But I think there are ways that you can watch a movie where your mindset is just not in the right position. You don't have the right mindset of watching the movie. I think that's a very strong possibility. You could have the mindset of just watching an action movie when it's really a political thriller, and you would be watching the movie wrong, I think. But I don't know. It makes sense to me, but I don't know if people disagree about it. So yeah, I want to make sure that I'm not playing this game wrong. And I've tried paying attention to that more closely, more often. I'm trying to play the way the developers intended a player to play it, you know? So that's why I don't think that I should play this as a Devil May Cry where attacks are instant. At least I think they're instant in Devil May Cry. Let's say Path of Exile because I'm more familiar with Path of Exile. Where in Path of Exile, you press a button and it quickly, automatically. Minecraft, it does the same thing, right? Press left button, Minecraft Steve swings his sword extremely quickly. Very little response time. Here, it feels like there's some lag behind it. So I gotta take that into account. It doesn't mean that the game is bad or that the fact that there's intentional lag makes it bad. It's just a different style of playing it. So let's see here. I press A and there's an animation, right? A, it's not an immediate... What the heck? The enemy doesn't take damage immediately. Or I don't even know if my animation starts immediately. And yeah, you can make the argument that technically everything has some animation lag, but I mean, I'm talking about some is greater than others, right? And speaking of Path of Exile, wait, wasn't there a Path of Exile 2 stream? Wait, I gotta watch that. I didn't watch that. Today's Saturday. I think it happened on Friday. Path of Exile 2 looks so incredibly good. It looks different from the first Path of Exile, and I think that is a good thing. It looks a bit slower, a bit more strategic. I haven't gotten really far into Path of Exile. I started doing the campaign for the Affliction League, I think it's called, but the new league is starting soon. So my goal was to do the campaign and then do my main character. Well, not a main character, but just start a new character when the new league comes out because it's starting very soon, but I just decided to wait. What are these guys? What are they called? I guess if I really cared, I can look at the encyclopedia. The thing with the encyclopedia, though, is that you gotta scroll all the way. It's kind of annoying. Let's look at it. Let's say I want to see what those enemies were called. I press this, I go to database, I go to enemy encyclopedia. Landworm. Okay, that wasn't too bad. But let's say there's an enemy that's number 50, but I don't know that it's number 50, right? Then I would just have to be scrolling and then hopefully that I see it on the picture. But look, it goes by so fast that the animation doesn't even have time to load. Ooh, a 4-link. I get excited whenever I see them because it means a lot of XP. Now, is the XP bigger than if I were just to fight 4 non-linked enemies? I imagine it would be because then what's the point of linked? Yeah, okay, times 2. Nice. Ooh. Okay, when you're oh wow, that's so cool. I forgot if I said that I didn't fix my monitor yet. I don't know. I think it looks good, just whenever it's bright, it's too bright. So I don't know how to fix that. It might be saturation. I was playing Elden Ring today and I was surprised at how well my computer ran it at 1440p. I only have I have an RX 6650 XT. I mean, it's not top of the line or anything, but it is quite good, I think. I think a lot of people would still call it budget. But I like the fact that it was able to play Elden Ring 60 FPS, 1440p, high settings in most areas. I tried in Leyndell, the Royal Capital, and I think that's where it started lagging more. But in Limgrave, it was mostly 60 FPS. In Siofra, the Underground, it was just constant 60 FPS. I was really surprised. Can they see the save point? Or is that just a thing for the players? You woke up one day and you could do healing spells. Okay, what about you? How do you shoot laser beams? There aren't any healing symbols in the field of symbology. Okay, so she learned her stuff through symbology. No, dude, let's try catching the ship. I don't know how many ships there's gonna be to... What's that place called? El? Okay. Okay. Don't know why she didn't try that before, but it's okay. Alright, it's already been an hour and 42 minutes, but I am having a ton of fun. The trap? Gargoyles. I wonder what happened if we chose a different chest first. So it looks like our meteor palm is good for one person. I was gonna ask if we could open those chests. So meteor palm is good for one person, and our air slash is good for multiple. Got a sacrificial doll, excuse me? AA device. What's that? The mysterious power in the jewel recalls the memory of Star Ocean. Laetitia, the protagonist of Star Ocean 6, has joined the assault. Summon characters not in the battle party to aid in combat. Oh, we have summons. Summon during attacks to increase combo length or heal when in a tight spot. Alright, let's get out of here first and foremost. I'll get out of here and probably call it a day. I'm playing Grand Blue recently. I really like Grand Blue Fantasy. I've been trying to find a gacha game that's like Grand Blue Fantasy, but more modern. I don't really think there's anything like that. And I also think that Grand Blue Fantasy has the benefit of being so old. I think the fact that it's so old means that there's so much content. And I think that's part of the charm of the game at this point, because there's so many different ways you can, well, I mean, there's a meta way you can do, right? But there's, in order to achieve this meta, you have to do a bunch of different things that you probably wouldn't find in a more recent game, just because there's not as much content.
You two have been Our little expedition didn't turn up anything on the sorcery globe, though.
Yeah, it was a waste of time.
So it was the sorcery globe that you two have been...
Well, yes. That's why we were thinking about traveling to the El Kingdom.
Didn't you sneak into our conversation with the king? How did you not know that we were looking for the sorcery globe? Dude, I freaking love recording this because I have so many things on my mind that I wish I could share with other people. But now that I'm actually recording it, I could just talk about it. And I don't have to feel guilty about just... Wait, I could just be like, no, I don't want you. I don't have to just keep it in my mind and just make it go into the abyss until I forget about it the next day. I have it recorded. Oh yeah, I also tried changing the bitrate.
Aren't you glad, Claude?
And
yeah,
I don't...
I guess.
I got hair in my mouth. Yeah, so I don't know if changing the bitrate worked or not. I don't know if I'm just crazy. And I don't know if I already talked about this before because it's almost been 2 hours. But hopefully it looks a little better. I don't know. I don't know how people make things look crispy clear. Something that I think is an underrated mechanic in games is that whenever enemies start running away from you, when you're at a sufficient level to the point where you just kill them automatically. That's something that I'm looking forward to in Metaphor ReFantazio, or yeah, Metaphor ReFantazio, freaking dumb name. It appears as if when you're a high enough level, it just turns into the action RPG. So you just hit them around and then they just instantly die. Maybe, hopefully it's not an insta-death. I think there should still be some. Well, maybe there shouldn't be any challenge. I don't know. We'll see how Atlas works with it. But I'm sure it'd be interesting. I got homework over the spring break. I didn't do it. Tomorrow's my last day. I mean, I started on it today. Something that I realized, and it sounds kind of obvious in hindsight, I shouldn't be watching an engaging YouTube video while I'm working on my homework. Because then it's just a cycle of frustration, because then I'm increasingly getting frustrated on the homework because I'm more busy paying attention on the video, and then I'm spending more time on the homework, and I could have finished it even earlier. I get frustrated that I'm frustrated on the homework, so it's just like an endless loop, and I really need to stop doing that. So I asked my good friend Google Gemini what I should do, and it's like, you need interruptions that won't distract you. I don't think it called it interruptions, but it was like, listen to classical music. So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try the little pieces of advice that it gave me. Over here, over here, over here. Okay, I'm just mashing down. I'm mashing down. I'm mashing down. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There she is. Do something. Laser beams. Holy frick. Wait, no. Celica. I forgot her name. Celsia. She used laser beam. I couldn't see what our summon did, but it looked really cool. I'll save right now, because there might be a save point, but I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching. Long recording session. Some interesting topics. And goodbye. What the heck?